welcome to Sound Music Business. I'm Anthea Palmer, and this is the third video in my Face the Music series. The first one, if you haven't caught up, was about getting airplay on Triple J Unearthed and how Unearthed works internally. And then it was State of Play, which was about national issues that are affecting our music industry. So yeah, do catch up if you haven't seen the first two episodes. Now, I'm going to start this episode off by telling you a story, I guess, or a bit of background. When I think of this company, I think of a white glossy box with tissue paper, beautiful purple satin ribbon, which matched the band's t-shirt logo, which I folded delicately, logo faced up, with my band's self-financed EP, beautifully packaged. And that was sent off, attention Michael Gudinski, Mushroom Records. Now, I wasn't signed to Mushroom, and back in the 90s, particularly the early 90s, you really needed a major label behind you. And I didn't even get a response, even though I did follow up persistently, as is my nature. But never mind, regardless, I do have huge respect for Michael Gudinski because he's had the sort of career that people like me, for instance, can only dream of, and he's made a huge impact in the industry. So I went along to the Mushroom panel, which was Michael Gudinski, of course, and his son Matt Gudinski. And Matt is the new executive director, and that's one of the changes they've made in their restructuring and rebranding of Mushroom. Gudinski, of course, Michael Gudinski, the father of Australian music, is a very passionate man, quite outspoken, and I would say rugged. That's probably how I would describe him. And I was surprised, and I guess a little bit disappointed, that Matt, the son, just didn't seem to have the same passion. Now, I'm sure he does. And they did discuss how Matt being laid back and Michael being fiery does work to balance the personalities, and that is working quite well for them in the new restructure. But I did sort of feel like giving Matt a bit of a kick to see if he was still with us. But again, I'm sure he's got lots of fresh new ideas. He's a young man coming into the business, and I'm sure he'll do great stuff. Mushroom are trying to put on a united front. They've got, I think, nearly 20 different companies, and they're going to unite them all. They've got a new Mushroom logo, new executive director, and they're really going to refocus Mushroom and make it the household name, I guess, that it used to be back in the 90s, 80s and 90s. So given I'm a serial entrepreneur, I can't help myself, I was really interested to hear how Michael would describe his success, or what he thought the secrets of his success were. And he said it's about belief, commitment and sacrifice. And those three words, I must say, rang very true to me. You do have to have those three things, I think, to make it in any industry as an entrepreneur, not just in the music industry. He also said what was crucial to his career was the vision of what's going to sell tomorrow, and I guess taking a risk, a punt on what you think is going to be the next big thing. It is a skill, being able to, have an ear for what you think is going to sell in the future rather than in the here and now. You could feel Michael Gudinski's passion for the latest artist that has come under the Mushroom fold, and that's Dan Sultan. And Dan Sultan's already had quite a lot of airplay. He's been on television quite a bit. He's got quite a good profile. And Michael, I can tell, is so excited about having Dan Sultan on bass. And they did play, well, I guess his first release clip. Beautiful, but Dan Sultan is beautiful. And you could feel the passion though, and Michael said that they're really going to put the full force of Mushroom behind Dan, and he really expects that they will be able to crack him overseas. So wouldn't that be great? And I think Dan Sultan would be a great ambassador for Australian music. Michael made a comment that got a huge round of applause, and that was he believes that every international artist that comes to Australia to play should be supported by local Australian musicians, and I couldn't agree with that more. So let's hope the resurgence of Mushroom will have that sort of positive impact on the industry. Now, when Michael was asked what advice he would give to new up-and-coming bands, His advice was twofold, and I thought very, very good advice. The first was that at the right time you need to have the right people around you, and that you need to know when to let go. So essentially it's fabulous that artists can, you know, grow their fan base and their careers independently, but there will come a time in your career where you can't do it all yourself, and you need the right support people around you, and you do need to be able to let go. And I've come across a lot of artists and management, in particular relationships, where the artist finds it very hard to let go, and therefore it's very hard for people to help them. So I think that was really great advice. And secondly, he said to use the media and don't let the media use you. And the example he gave was, if the media contact you, you don't have to talk to them, and don't talk to them unless you've actually got something good to say or interesting to say. So don't let them rule the roost. Take control of the media and how you use it. So that's my feedback on the mushroom panel, or for me, what were the important take-home messages. Again, all respect to Michael Gudinski and good luck to Matt. And thank you for watching. This is Sound Music Business. I'm Anthea Palmer. Onward and upward.